My respects.
Tanner, I've heard all's not well with you.
It's better now. I must have eaten something bad.
No, I mean you've complained about some ruffians raising hell behind your house.
Aye, true enough. That lot's been a thorn in my side. And when I went to tell them to take it elsewhere, they nearly beat me to a pulp.
If you want, I'll take care of them.
Well, you look like you could move mountains, but there are several of them and just one of you.
Perhaps we'll be able to settle things peacefully.
Maybe. They might think twice before kicking your arse.
Perhaps I can reason with them. It doesn't have...
Well, break a leg, lad. Or better yet, don't. But if you manage to pull it off, you'll get your reward. Don't worry.
Take care now.
My respects.
I heard you gave him quite...
It's his own damn fault.
Really? He just came to tell you to go elsewhere.
That's what he told you? Bollocks! He came of his own accord. It was him started the fuss, after he'd lost all his money.
He really tried to have a go. I wouldn't think he'd have it in him.
He tried, but he didn't have much luck. He does pack a punch. But landing it in the right place, ha! I'm not surprised he's got no children. Take care now.
I'm looking for work. And
I've heard they might be looking for a new...
Thanks, but no thanks.
Well, you've heard more than I.
The tanner sent me. He says you've been causing a commotion at night, and I thought I might convince you to stop.
Ha! So all his whining finally found a friendly ear, did it? Let me tell you something first, whelp. I'm the bailiff's man, and we're not doing anything wrong here. Old Lederman's only been whining like that since he lost a bit of silver. Didn't bother him before that.
He told me different.
Ha! Of course he did. Otherwise no one would help him. Go ahead and ask the lads. They'll tell you the same. It's God's honest truth.
I'll take you at your word. But what should I do now?
The way I see it, you've got two choices. Screw that old liar and leave him be, or get down to business.
What do you mean, get down to business?
Well, you may think you're pretty tough, and if you give us all a thrashing, we might think it over.
If I break your arm, then you won't be coming here for a while, will you?
But I'm a fair fellow, so I'll make you an offer. If you enter our tournament and win, which means beating us all, then we'll go elsewhere. If you don't win, then you're flat out of luck and have to leave. That's not so bad, is it?
I want to get better at fit.
Certainly.
I'd like to practice.
All right. Now, God be with
God be with you.
I heard that someone's looking for...
Willing to do anything? Meaning what?
That's not what I meant, but alright.
Take care now.
If I...
It's pretty simple. First you have to beat weed.
So the last match is with you.
That's right.
I want to fight you.
May the Lord watch over you.
Let's do it.
Let's go. Take care now.
My respects to you.
Let's fight.
You look pretty good.
We'll see.
Farewell.
What the?
Good health to you.
Let's fight.
That wasn't bad. Take care now. No!
Here!
Let's fight.
That wasn't bad. Take care now.
I want to fight you.
You put on quite a show. Good luck to you.
Mess!
Farewell.
That was pretty good. I didn't think you had it in you.
You were really good. I've got to hand it to you. Most lads don't make it past me. So listen, I want to tell you something.
What's that?
There are people here looking for really tough men, and I'd say you fit the bill. So when you walk through town this evening, if there's a light in the church, go in and wait a while. If they like the looks of you, they might give you some work.
Thanks. I'll think about it.
Look here, lads. I hope I won't be seeing you around here again. Go and find some other place for your games.
All right. We'll go. But if you want to fight again, you're always welcome. I bet you'll come off worse next time. Farewell.
I've taken care of the lads who were bothering you. You'll have a quiet evening tonight.
God bless you, lad. And here's something for your trouble and kindness. Unlike that miserable bailiff.
If anything else grieves you, just say the word.
God be with you.
What are you snooping around here for? Clear off.
Farewell.
Look out! Hey. What are you snooping around here for?
Where's your hunker?
She's locked up at the rat house. Orders of the bishop.
Locked up? For what?
For heretical speeches. Run along now. If you want to chat about it, go and talk to that monk who smells like an apothecary shop. He's in a flap about it too. Take care now.
Hey, you! Halt! Surrender! You've committed a crime and I'm arresting you.
Had enough.
Hey, who's there?
I'm gonna... Fuck. Yeah!
What's that? When I find him...
There's a corpse here. Maud! Quick! There's a corpse there.
Put that weapon away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good health.
Can I sleep here?
All right. Nope. You're like...
I've heard that's not quite what I meant.
True, but that's nothing new.
So there are fewer travellers.
I take anyone who turns up.
He just vanished.
Well, he said he lost all his silver to the miller, and he had to go and see him about something.
Do you still have them?
Of course not. I sold them all a few days later when he didn't come back.
I've heard...
True.
So... Thank you.
May the Lord watch over.
Here you are. Good help.
Hey, what the hell do you think you're doing?
What happened to your hand?
Nothing. She was locked up by the papal inquisitor Bishop Yaroslav of Benishov. It seems he somehow caught wind of this preaching of hers. He's accused her of spreading heresy and had her placed under arrest.
Jesus Christ. What's going to happen to her?
I don't know, Henry. It all depends on the inquisitor and how he decides. The accusations brought against Johanka are very serious.
Well, we must do something.
Well, you can try talking to Bishop Yaroslav. He can tell you more. As a servant of the royal hetman, your name ought to carry some weight with him. But watch your step. This matter is entirely in the hands of church law, so you mustn't overestimate your lay authority here.
Right. I'll go and see this Bishop Yaroslav of Benishov.
May God go with you. And thank you, Henry. I'm glad you're standing up for your hanker. If you need anything, do come and see me.
Would you teach me more about...
Certainly.
I'd like to practice...
All right. Now,
See you later.
Look out!
Yeah!
Greetings.
Yeah! Sir? Bishop Yaroslav? Sir? My lord, to what do I owe your interest in my humble self?
I was told you survived the massacre in Skalitz and warned the Talmberg garrison. You tracked down the raiders of a stud farm in Neuhof, wasn't it? To their hideout in the woods. And then you led Sir Radzig and his armed company there and joined bravely in the skirmish, and even killed their notorious leader by your own hand. And I believe you have many other deeds to your name. That's quite remarkable, considering your age, is it not?
Well, you're too kind, Monsignor. I'm just trying to do what's right, and what's needed.
Quite rightly, too, my son. I expect we'll be hearing more about you, but I assume you didn't come here to exchange pleasantries. Or am I mistaken?
No, Monsignor, you're quite right. I'm here about Johanka.
Naturally. I'd be quite surprised if it were otherwise. So, tell me what's on your mind.
How did you find out about Johanka?
Word came to me of what was happening here, that some young girl was claiming to speak for the Blessed Virgin. I traveled here immediately, as my duty demanded, and observed events in Sasau incognito, in order to examine the matter at first hand.
I see. Why did you have her imprisoned?
Because she broke the promise she made to me and persisted in actions that bear the signs of heresy.
And what will happen to Johanka now?
I must weigh the gravity of her transgressions and investigate these alleged visions of hers. I consider it very improbable that she is indeed being visited by the Blessed Virgin. Nevertheless, I cannot at this time rule it out entirely.
So you think it could be true? In that case, Johanka hasn't done anything wrong.
It's not that straightforward. Even if her visions were real, she was at fault for interpreting them as she saw fit and preaching to the people.
So you decide just like that? But you don't even know Johanka.
I certainly do not decide just like that. I'm thoroughly examining the entire matter, and you would be well advised not to question my authority. I will call Johanka and the witnesses, question them, and then pronounce a verdict.
And will there be anyone there to defend Johanka?
Do you doubt my judgment?
I would never be so bold, sir. But surely it would be only just that someone should speak for Johanka about all her good deeds and so forth?
Naturally, I will also question those who would speak in her defense. Since you are interceding, I expect you have someone in mind?
Yes. Actually, me.
As I surmised. But this matter does not directly concern you. Why should I allow you to appear before the court?
Johanka is my neighbour, and I have a Christian duty to come to her aid. I can't just stand by and do nothing.
I have to concur with you on that. Your concern seems sincere, so I will grant your request. Very well. You will defend Johanka. You may speak in her defense if you so wish, and you may also bring witnesses. I will question any such witnesses, and naturally I shall question Johanka too.
Thank you, Monsignor. In that case, I'll need to speak to Johanka first.
That won't be possible. It's forbidden by the Inquisition procedure. Until the entire matter is resolved, Johanka can speak only to me and no one else. I would like to expedite the matter. The trial will take place in Sasau Church in 3 days' time at the latest. Come and let me know when you're ready to proceed. In the meantime, I will continue my investigation.
Very well, Monsignor. I had better get on with it then, sir. Farewell.
Before you go, you know Johanka longer than anyone else. You spent a lot of time with her, as I've discovered. Tell me, my son, truthfully, what do you think of this whole affair?
Johanka helped a lot of people. She worked her fingers to the bone helping Brother Nicodemus with the sick and injured.
That is certainly commendable. What else can you tell me about her?
Johanka is an honest girl and virtuous. She's a good Christian who attends church and thinks of others.
Good. Please continue.
About the Virgin Mary? I believe the Virgin does visit her. Johanka is honest. She wouldn't lie about such a thing. And the things she says sound truthful and compelling. It really does seem like a heavenly revelation. Who else could it be from but the Virgin Mary?
The origin of these so-called visions of hers must be investigated. but thank you for your candor. Is there anything else you can tell me?
That's about all I can tell you.
You speak of her as if she should be beatified. I find it hard to believe she's as saintly as all that. I have a feeling you're hiding something from me.
She's worried about Matthias. He's from Skalitz too, and she's very fond of him. But he was wounded in a raid on Merhojed recently, and since then he's been lying in a fever. Johanka believes that if she does what the Blessed Virgin wants of her, Matthias might be healed.
Interesting. Anything else?
That's about all I can tell you.
You speak of her as if... I find it hard to believe.
Well, before, in Skalitz, Johanka was sort of, well, just a simple village girl. I never imagined I'd hear her talking the way she does now. She's completely transformed.
A simple village girl.
Maybe. She didn't treat everyone equally. She took better care of her former Skalitz neighbours than of the other patients, of course.
It's understandable, yes. Some people are dearer to her than others, but whether by doing so she sinned. Anything else, Henry?
That's about all I can tell you.
Thank you, my son. One more thing before you go. Let me remind you that it's your Christian duty to report anything suspicious going on concerning the Church and the true faith, if you're aware of anything of the sort in these parts. If you prove yourself a commendable servant of the Church, I would also take that into account in judging Johanka's case.
All right, Monsignor. I'll bear...
Good luck to you.
Brother Nicodemus.
You've heard something?
The Inquisitor has decided that Johanka will be tried, but he's agreed that I can defend her.
That's really quite unusual. It must mean he hasn't come to a clear conclusion yet.
Yes.
I'm afraid it may not be that easy. The thing is, I expect Johanka will say the same things before the court that she's been preaching.
What are you saying?
Well, I've been thinking about what she's been saying, and it seems to me her preaching has a certain progression. Are you acquainted with the notion of the three orders of man?
Not really, no.
It's like this. It's said that everyone has their God-given place and purpose on earth. Laboratores, oratores, and bellatores. Those who work, those who pray, and those who fight. The common folk are born to work, to reap the fruits of the earth and to obey the laws of God and man. It is the purpose of the nobles to protect the people and the church against all dangers and to maintain peace and justice on earth. And the church in turn has the task of caring for the spiritual welfare of all, ensuring the salvation of their souls and bringing solace to the people in times of hardship, so that they can endure their earthly trials and enter the kingdom of heaven.
But what's all that got to do with Johanka?
Well, I noticed in her first sermon she primarily addressed the concerns of the common folk, and in the second, she criticized the nobility.
Ah. So you think she might start talking about the church?
Yes, I'm afraid she might. I dread to think how that might end up. Henry, you must warn her against that. She must show humility before the Inquisitor, and the wisest course would be to admit to being wrong. She's rather stubborn, but perhaps she'll listen to you.
But the Inquisitor said no one's allowed to see her.
No one except the Inquisitor's own men. You'll just have to think something up. I'm afraid Johanka's fate is mainly in your hands now. I'm relying on you.
Goodbye.
Witnesses can be summoned for Johanka's trial. So I wanted to ask you if you'd give a testimony. Maybe some learned speech in her defense?
I'd be glad to do it. Johanka deserves my help. Such testimonies could carry a lot of weight. You should try and get as many as you can.
God be with you.
Adela, the Inquisitor is going to try Johanka in court.
Oh, Lord. I hope she's acquitted. I was absolutely devastated when they took her away.
I need people to speak in her defense, and I'd like to ask you to do it.
I don't want to go there. Really. I'm afraid of that Inquisitor. But you helped me, and so did Johanka. It's only right that I should try and help her. But what am I supposed to say there? I'm just a simple village girl. I don't know anything about these things.
That doesn't matter. You just be yourself. It should be enough to talk about all the good Johanka does here, and how she helps others. I'll send for you if you're needed.
All right.
Thanks a lot. Monsignor, I've heard of various irregularities in the province that might be of interest to you.
Very good, my son. A good Christian certainly shouldn't conceal such things. Please, speak.
There were Valdensians hiding in Ujits.
Really? And how did you find out about it?
Sir Hanush sent me to help the vicar track them down and catch them.
So, Sir Hanush had an interest in finding them?
Yes, that's right.
I'm pleased to hear it. It's not always possible to see eye to eye with secular lords in such matters. And how did it end up with the members of the sect?
They fled. The vicar is still trying to track them down.
That's unfortunate. Let's hope the vicar succeeds promptly in his mission.
A demon's skull was found on the church building site.
Yes. I heard something about it. A disturbing report. Tell me what you know about it.
It was a deception, sir. Someone made it with evil intentions, to frighten people. I found the skull and brought it to the local knacker. He confirmed it was a human skull with animal horns stuck on.
You did the right thing, Henry, in uncovering the deception and in telling me about it.
There are interesting things going on inside the monastery.
In the monastery? What kind of things?
Oh, various things that people are talking about. There's a lot of talk about the construction of the new church and how much it must be costing. But actually, nothing that would interest you, really. I won't waste your time with it.
As you wish.
That's all, Monsignor.
All right, Henry. Thank you. But I hope you're not keeping anything from me. God be with you.
Goodman Pavel, you're still here. That's a relief. I was afraid I'd miss you.
Yes, still here, but not for long. I had some business to deal with, but now that's out of the way and I'm getting ready to leave. What was it you wanted?
You might have heard that Johanka was arrested by the Inquisitor and is facing trial.
Indeed, word has reached me. Poor girl.
I'd like to ask you to speak to the court in Johanka's defense.
Of course, Henry. You have my word. And the word of a burgher of Colleen ought to mean something. But to speak in defense of someone accused of heresy is no small matter. What do you want me to say?
The same thing you told me. That it was a sacred sign that you happened to be nearby when Johanka was speaking, and so on.
True. I'll tell the bishop that. You can rest assured.
Thank you very much. Please wait here a few more days for the court to convene, then I'll send for you.
All right. For Johanka's sake, I'll wait. See you later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And get a move on, because you really don't
I need your help with something. I'm sure you've heard. Johanka was locked up by the Inquisitor.
Who hasn't? The whole of Sasso is talking about it. And the Inquisitor was asking around about her.
I'd like to ask you to appear before the court and say something in Johanka's defense.
I can't say I'm keen on going there. But Johanka helped me. And you did too. I think it's only right that someone should say something good about her.
Ah, thanks, Guta. I appreciate it. I'll send for you when it's time.
God be with you.
Good day to you.
Good luck to you.
Master Bailiff?
I know. He was here.
Oh? What did he want?
Various things. Like how things are here. Whether people are honest. Whether we observe the fest days and so forth. And then he asked about Johanka. About what she preaches. Whether people come to listen to her and that. He's been talking to a lot of other people in Sasau too. I even heard that Katra, the swordsmith's wife, invited him to dine with them.
That's interesting. Thanks for telling me. Was he just asking questions, or does he want you to testify before the court?
Yes, he did ask me to testify, and I'm none too happy about it.
I see. And what are you going to say about her?
It depends what I'm asked, but there's not much I can say. I don't know Johanka very well. She seems virtuous and self-sacrificing to me. She's never done anything wrong, and no one here ever had a cross word to say about her, until recently. Maybe some gossip about her and Sir Sebastian, but I've heard similar talk about half the women folk here.
Now that's just idle gossip. Johanka is a virtuous girl.
True. But then there's that preaching of hers. Folk have been falling out. They're split according to whether they believe Johanka or not. I don't know quite what to think of it myself. But I don't want to jump to conclusions. I'll wait and see what the learned bishop has to say.
Thank you for speaking openly, Master Bailiff.
Good luck to you.
My respects to you. God be with you.
Father, the Inquisitor has had Johanka thrown in jail.
I know, son.
He's planning a hearing.
Rightly so. It's about time this whole matter was dealt with.
What do you think about it, then?
As I say, it's a good thing that the matter is being investigated. The things Johanka has been preaching are, to say the least, disturbing. Who knows what these dreams are that she speaks of? And her words are only putting ideas in people's heads and leading them astray. Now, instead of going to church, as they should, they go to her in the false belief that they will find solace. It's creating a chasm between the people and the church and leading them away from the true teaching left to us by Christ. They're misguided and swamped in heretical ideas.
But Johanka is no heretic. She's a good, kind girl who's only trying to do the right thing. I'll defend her.
Suit yourself. But mind you don't get ensnared in her fallacies, and leave it to the bishop to judge the matter.
Of course.
See you later.
Yeah.
I'm here about Johanka.
You're that fella of hers, are you? What do you want?
No. I'm just a friend of hers. Matthias is her fella.
Huh. God knows how many she has.
I heard you invited Bishop Yaroslav to come and dine with you?
Yes, so what? Bishop Yaroslav is an esteemed visitor to Sassau, and it's only fitting he should be suitably hosted by devout burghers.
And what did you talk about?
What we discussed with the Monsignor is none of your business.
What have you got against Johanka?
Nothing. The question is, what has she got against us? Tell me that.
What?
She turns up here and tries to tell us how to live our lives. Says the Virgin Mary whispers to her in the night. Yeah, I'm sure. To a simple village wench. I'd like to know who's really putting those ideas in her head. She's just getting people all worked up. Men, especially. Coming around here with her nonsense. Sassau is a decent, orderly place, I'll have you know. We don't want any trouble here. All this talk about hellfire and the end of the world. God have mercy. No one is interested in what she has to say. All they want is some spectacle. She ought to have thought twice before she started. Not that she wasn't warned.
What do you mean, warned?
As I said, she was told.
Tell me everything you know. I represent the royal hetman, so don't try and keep anything from me.
If you must know, some of the fellas want to have it out with her and tell her to stop. No one wants her speeches here. But would she listen? No. The devil possessed her to bring harm to us.
So it was you who sent those men?
All I wanted was to protect the Sasau folk against her poisonous tongue, and I'll do just that. The Monsignor asked me to testify in court, and I'll tell everything I know there.
And I'll do likewise. Farewell.
Go. Take care.
Yeah. Ugh! Yeah.
Family happy.
What the hell was that?
Hey, clear off. No one's allowed to talk. Bishop Yaroslav.
I'm quite aware of that, my man. I'm with the bishop's entourage. Look.
Show me that. Ah, I see. All right, sir. You can talk to her.
Thank you. You can really read?
A little, yes. That's why they put me here.
Very good. I'm impressed. Now leave us, please.
Certainly, sir.
Johanka, are you all right?
Yes, Henry. I'm fine. I'm glad to see you.
I spoke to the Inquisitor. He wants to put you on trial.
I know. It's all in God's hands now.
No, it's not. I mean, it is, of course. But the bishop has allowed me to defend you.
You want to defend me? Thank you, Henry, that's very kind of you. But you needn't bother. Our Lady won't let anything bad happen to me. I am her instrument, and I am completely in her hands. Everything that's happening is her sacred will.
I won't stand by with my arms folded. You need someone to testify for you. As I said, I will defend you.
If you insist. Maybe it's the will of the Virgin that you came to me. So be it then.
I went to Ujits, like you asked.
That's good, Henry. I hope you purged yourself of your sins.
I did the pilgrimage of penance, like you said. And in the church, I begged the Virgin Mary for forgiveness.
And she will bless you, Henry. You're a good man. Remember that. And don't stray into wrongdoing again.
I won't. I made a donation to the church, too. And the parish priest there, Father Godwin, he was asking about you.
Was he? Well, what did you tell him?
Oh, just about everything that's going on and the things you were saying. He was quite moved by it, to tell the truth. He even gave me some writings.
You see? Maybe Our Lady is giving you a sign too.
What did Bishop Yaroslav ask you about?
All sorts of things. Like how the Virgin Mary visits me, what she shows me, and about preaching to the people. Actually, he was really quite pleasant. He asked me about Skalitz, whether I go to church, and a lot of other things. And in the end, he told me I mustn't speak in public again about the visitations and that. But I couldn't obey an order like that. The Blessed Virgin is testing me, and I have to do what she asks, no matter who or what stands in the way.
I'd say he wasn't too happy about that.
No. He came there with his men, dispersed the people, and had me arrested and locked up here.
About that trial?
Yes, the trial.
I'll get some people who will testify for you in court. But Brother Nicodemus is worried you'll say things that will make the Inquisitor angry. Please don't do that. You have to talk to him respectfully, answer his questions with humility, and not say anything to annoy him. And don't say anything against the church or priests. Please.
I'll say only what the Blessed Virgin wants me to say.
Johanka, please. You mustn't say anything against him or the church. Be contrite. Maybe even admit you might have been wrong about some things. I don't think the Inquisitor is so bad. If you submit to him, he'll drop the charges.
You too now. You're speaking exactly the same as his assistant. The two of you joined forces against me, did you?
I've nothing to do with him. I didn't even know he was here. Believe me, I'm really trying to help you.
You don't believe me anymore, do you?
I do, Johanka, I believe you. But in court, you must speak reasonably, prudently. A lot depends on it. Maybe even your life.
I appreciate your concern for me, Henry, really, I do. But you must understand. I can't deny that the Virgin Mary visits me, or what she wants to tell us. Not now. After everything that's happened, I can't. Otherwise, she won't heal Matthias.
But you have to consider yourself and what's good for you. Surely you don't want to be convicted of heresy? That won't do anyone any good, neither you nor Matthias.
I've already told you. Everything is in the hands of the Blessed Virgin. I will accept with humility the fate she grants me.
Oh, Sacra. This is going to be a right mess.
Yeah. My back is
Hey!
My respects to you.
I need something from you, sir. I suppose you heard that Johanka was locked up by the Inquisitor and is facing charges of heresy.
I did, and it's most disturbing news.
What you might not know is that he's agreed that I can defend her at the trial.
You? Do you even know what to say?
Sure I know. It'll turn out just fine. Trust me. But I need you to testify at the court. In Johanka's defense, of course.
Naturally. You don't think I could just sit here and do nothing? Besides, the bishop has already insisted that I appear before the court.
Oh. All right.
One moment. I apologize if I was a little hasty. This whole affair has left me anxious. I appreciate that you want to defend her. However, I don't think it would have any effect. No offense, but I don't think you'll be able to achieve anything in court. I'm afraid the Inquisitor will judge as he sees fit, whatever anyone says. But I have an idea how you could help.
Oh? How's that?
Flee. With Johanka, of course.
No, I don't think that's a good idea. I'm sure Johanka will be acquitted by the court and everything will be all right. Running would just confirm the Inquisitor's suspicions, and she'd always be looking over her shoulder.
I don't agree. As I said, I don't believe you can affect the outcome of the court. If Johanka flees, yes, she'll have to lie low for a while, but in time it will all blow over. You can take her anywhere, as long as it's far enough from here. A girl like that will always find her feet. She can easily hide out somewhere where she's not known. Maybe there could even be a place for her on my estate. Think about it. But whatever you decide, if Johanka comes to any harm, you'll have me to answer to. I'm very fond of her, and her of me, and I don't want anything to happen to her, understand? But if everything ends well, I'll show you my gratitude, I assure you. Take care now.
Wait till I tell you what happened to me. There was I, going along the road, minding my own business, when all of a sudden I see this purse, right there on the ground.
No. Was there much in it?
Half a dozen groschen and change.
By Christ, that was worth bending down for, eh?
Indeed. I couldn't believe it. But before I picked it up, I reckon someone must be playing a trick on me, and they were hiding in the bushes just to have a laugh. But not a soul anywhere.
That's a piece of good fortune, then. We ought to celebrate.
By all means. The best of it is, that pair of idiots, Prokop and Ondra, were walking right ahead of me, and they never even noticed the purse. And it was lying there right in the middle of the road.
You're a lucky man.
This time, But it all evens out in the end anyway.
Aye, true enough. God's mills.
I spoke to Johanka.
And did you manage to convince her?
I'm afraid not. She's stubborn. She says she answers only to the Blessed Virgin.
Oh dear, Henry. That's not good at all. What about her family? Doesn't she have a relative she might listen to?
No. None of them survived the raid on Skalitz.
She has no one at all left in the world? Poor child.
Take care.
Water.
Matthias, you're better.
Henry?
Yes, it's me.
I'm glad you're here, Henry. I'd even like to eat something. I must tell Johanka. She'll be glad.
Johanka's not here.
Oh? Where is she?
How to begin? Look, things got a bit complicated here. The main thing is, Johanka is in jail, awaiting trial.
What? What happened?
The Virgin Mary is speaking to Johanka, and Johanka is spreading her word to the people. But there's this inquisitor who heard about it and had her arrested. He's putting her on trial for heresy.
Oh my God. How could such a thing happen? But if Our Lady is speaking to her, surely nothing can happen to her.
Well, I hope not. Trouble is, Johanka is very obstinate, and she's likely to say things in court that will just make it worse for her. Listen, Matthias, I need you to go with me and talk to her. Maybe together we can convince her to see sense.
I wish I could, but I'm still too weak to even get out of bed. I'm sorry, Henry. I just can't do it. You know what? Tell her I'm feeling better, and I agree with everything you tell her. Give her this dice. She'll understand. It'll almost be like I was there with you.
All right. Thanks, Matthias.
Henry, please, look out for her, and make sure nothing happens to her.
I'll do my best.
God be with you.
Yeah. What was that?
About that trial,
Yes, the trial.
I spoke to Matthias.
What? But he's lying in a fever, isn't he?
No, he's much better. He asked about you. He wanted to come here, but he's not strong enough yet.
Oh, that's wonderful. You see, Our Lady helped him. And now, I have to do my part.
But doesn't it mean that you've already done your part?
Well,
What would be the point of it all if the Inquisitor were to have you imprisoned now? Or even worse?
It's a message. A final test. I mustn't fail now, after everything.
But you already passed the Virgin Mary's message on. Many people heard it, and many of them have amended their ways. You certainly haven't failed. Look, Matthias gave me this for you, and he asked me to tell you to look out for yourself.
Thank you, Henry. Go now. I need to rest.
I'm ready, Monsignor.
Excellent. We may commence then with...
Yes.
Good. I will send for everyone...
Yes, sir.
One more thing. These are solemn proceedings that demand a certain decorum. I won't tolerate any clanking armor or otherwise inappropriate attire. You will wear this robe.
Of course. Thank you, Monsignor.
Very well. Rest now, and we'll meet in the morning. Good luck to you. Let us begin.
I, Bishop Yaroslav of Benishov, by the grace of God, Papal Inquisitor, have come here to Sassaw in response to reports of Marian visitations and the preaching activities of one Johanka, a commoner. And I have found indeed that by her arbitrary word she's been leading good people astray and encouraging their rebellion against their betters. Furthermore, Johanka has attempted to usurp the glory that belongs alone to Holy Mother Church, and to appoint herself as an intermediary of the wisdom and grace of Almighty God. This does not behove any lay person, and certainly not a woman. It is therefore necessary to remedy her transgressions, and to investigate the extent and the basis of her misguidance, or, as the case may be, heresy. Henry of Skalitz has elected to appear here in Johanka's defense, and his wish has been allowed. Anyone who elects to speak here does so before God, and shall be bound by a most sacred oath, to speak only the truth. I will first hear the testimony of Father Fabian, who sent me word of this matter, and who should best know what deeds are done in his parish. Father Fabian, will you tell us what Johanka has been proclaiming?
Johanka claims that she has received visitations from Our Lady, the Holy Mother of God, who speaks to her in the night. It is an outrageous claim that I hold to be entirely untrue.
And did Johanka come forward to ask your advice regarding these alleged apparitions?
She did not. Instead, she took it upon herself to spread her supposed wisdom to the people.
And prior to this, did Johanka attend church? Did you see her at your sermons, Father?
I did not, Monsignor. What's more, the parish priest of Skalitz is staying at my presbytery just now. Johanka knows him well enough, but she didn't come to see even him. I believe Johanka is deliberately avoiding the church. Instead, she meets her followers secretly in the woods and preaches to them. Either she made everything up, or the devil himself is whispering in her ear.
If I may, Monsignor, the Virgin Mary really does speak to Johanka.
Is that so? And on what do you found this claim?
It couldn't be the devil. Johanka lives at the monastery, doesn't she? Close to the cave of St. Procopius. St. Procopius, who overpowered the devil and cast him down, did he not? The evil one would hardly dare return to the dominion of the saints to whisper in Johanka's ear. Surely that's obvious.
It's true, Henry, that evil spirits, or even Lucifer himself, would have little power in the vicinity of the remains of St. Procopius.
But the fact that she lives at the monastery doesn't mean that she is not misguided. What's more, she is an interloper there herself, who would not even be tolerated if it weren't for Brother Nicodemus.
Yes, Father, I am aware of the impropriety of her presence in the monastery grounds. But in this I must concur with Henry.
Monsignor, would you please hear the testimony of the respected burgher Pavel of Kolin? He will testify that Johanka isn't making anything up.
Well, I'm very curious what this Pavel will tell us. Call Pavel of Kolin. I'm a little surprised to find a counselor of Kolin here, especially you, who makes no secret of your animosity towards Sasau Monastery.
True. Although I have only criticized the monastery in secular matters of property, which concerned a dispute with the town of Kolin, and therefore my duties as a counselor.
Pavel, please tell us about your recent experience.
I'm all ears, Goodman.
Monsignor, some years ago I hid some money in Sasau woods. When I found myself here again recently and heard Johanka's words, I remembered that matter. Johanka made me aware of my inordinate love of wealth, and I resolved to donate the money in question for the common good of Sasau. For this I needed an honest intermediary who would locate the money. In this too Johanka helped me by putting me in touch with Henry here. By the grace of God, he found the long-lost treasure and donated it for the good of Sasau. The whole matter I regard as the intervention of the Holy Spirit.
An interesting tale, Goodman Pavel.
Not only that, it's also evidence of divine providence, and that Johanka isn't making anything up. She wasn't possessed by an evil spirit. On the contrary, Our Lady really did speak to her.
I must concur with that, Monsignor, because I was subsequently also visited in a dream by the Virgin Mary.
What? You too?
Yes. She appeared in a blue cloak and waved to me.
Do you swear that what you say is true, Pavel?
I swear by Almighty God, Monsignor.
Remarkable. Truly remarkable. Very well, Goodman. Thank you for your testimony. You may stand down.
Even if it were true, why would Our Lady choose a simple village girl like Johanka?
Monsignor, with your permission, I'd like to draw attention to the work of the great scholar Matthew of Yanov. He exalted women like Johanka. He said that God created what is weak in order to bring shame on what is strong. That's why God turns to women who love Christ and blesses them with such visions, so that they can point out and rectify the vanities of men. It can't be heresy if the learned masters of universities write such tracts.
What you say is remarkable. Matthew's work, which you mentioned, does speak to Johanka's benefit, but I wouldn't have expected that someone of your station has even heard of the Master of Yanov. How did you come by his work?
Well, Johanka pressed me to go on a pilgrimage of repentance. I went to Uzhitz, where there is a Marian church, and there, the parish priest gave me a copy of the text.
That's surprising indeed, especially that you are at all capable of reading such a work and understanding it. You're quite a fountain of unexpected skills, Henry.
Thank you, Monsignor.
Let's proceed then. Is there anything else you want to add, Henry?
Yes. Please call Brother Nicodemus. He has something to say about it. He's a man of learning and knows more about these things than I do.
Certainly. I also wish to hear his testimony. Call him. Nicodemus, for some time you were insisting that the infirmary needed extra pairs of hands. It was only at your request that Johanka, against all accepted custom, was allowed inside the monastery walls. I've already spoken to Abbot Peter about her, but please tell me how Johanka behaved.
Monsignor, I must stand behind Johanka. The girl is a treasure. Selfless, charitable, and good-hearted. She helped more people here than anyone else. I have never seen her do anything that would contradict the behavior of a good Christian. She never discussed questions of faith with me. She was always focused only on her work, which she carried out impeccably.
And afterwards, when she began making claims of Marian apparitions?
Yes, that's quite an extraordinary thing. The things she preached couldn't have come from any of the brothers, or from books, because she can't read. Therefore, I believe the Blessed Virgin really spoke to her.
Nonsense. She made the whole thing up. Or someone did prompt her. You're very keen to defend her, brother. It makes me wonder whether she didn't get her wisdom from you.
I already said she got none of it from me, and I would never lie before Almighty God. But it seems to me it's the inadequate education of the good parish priest here that's behind his flimsy litany.
What? Am I to be criticized by someone who's more a gardener than a scholar?
Father Fabian, let Nicodemus speak. And you, Nicodemus, stick to the point, if you please.
Certainly, Monsignor. Please allow this humble gardener to put the good priest right, because he evidently knows nothing of the fact that other women before Johanka had similar experiences. Blessed Hildegard of Bingen also had similar visions. And what about St. Bridget, or Elizabeth of Schurnau, or Catherine of Siena? Like them, Johanka here only humbly spreads the message of Our Lady. She does not present herself as an intermediary of divine mercy. Please do not condemn Johanka, Bishop Yaroslav. In my judgment, her visions are genuine and her words sincere.
Thank you, Nicodemus. Your plea is very bold. But what you say about Hildegard and the others is true. You can rest assured I will consider your words very carefully. Fabian, have you had trouble with heretics before, or had any suspicions of heresy here?
Not much, Monsignor. Now and then there have been traveling preachers and various charlatans here and there, although I did recently get reports that there were members of the Waldensian sect hiding in the province.
Yes, I know of that. Henry here was helping the vicar to track them down. Unfortunately, though, they managed to flee. Thank you, Father Fabian. That's all.
I'm glad to have been of service, Monsignor.
I thank you also, Brother Nicodemus. You too may stand down. Call Hoshek, bailiff of Sasau. Bailiff, has there been any suspicious activity here recently?
Well, there have been cumins on the rampage in the woods and on the roads. and all sorts of bands of footpads and brigands around the province. But otherwise, it's all been peaceful and quiet here, Monsignor.
How reassuring. And what of Johanka, bailiff? Has she been inciting the people here?
I couldn't tell you much about her. I hardly know her. She hasn't broken any laws, and folks speak well of her, for the most part. Although it's true, things have been a bit tense here, on account of her speeches.
Continue.
Quite a lot of people have been going to her since she started with that preaching. Some are even convinced she's a holy woman. From what I heard, they bring her small gifts or ask for her advice or blessing.
Sacrilege! People coming for blessings and bringing her gifts. That has all the makings of a cult.
Oh, I don't know, Monsignor. Begging your pardon, but that's overstating it a bit. But it's true. They met outside town too, and it came to a bit of a skirmish. Nothing serious happened though. Fellas punching each other in the mouth. If you'll excuse me, Monsieur, that happens all the time. Well, that's about all I can tell you, Monsignor.
Thank you, bailiff. I will be all. And you, Henry, you've been around Johanka more than anyone. Do people come to her for blessings?
Well, they come to her, yes. But I swear she never blessed anyone. But when someone comes to her, she tries to help them, like a good Christian.
Henry, I'm sure you're aware that to lie here is a mortal sin and a crime.
I do. And I'm not lying.
All right. Anything else?
Yes, Monsignor. Johanka helped Guta, the tailor's wife. Please hear her testimony. You'll see for yourself that Johanka is a good Christian.
Very well. I promised I'd hear your witnesses. Call this Guta. Guta, you witnessed Johanka's first sermon. What did she speak of?
About how we should be virtuous and not sinful.
And then you went to see Johanka, didn't you?
I did, Monsignor. I wanted to ask her for help, and she did. I was praying for my husband for a long time and begging God to help him. And I believe my prayers were answered, and he sent Johanka to us.
And there were others who came to her seeking help?
Yes, Monsignor. There were.
And that shrine, and the gifts. People brought them to Johanka so she'd help them?
I couldn't tell you. But she helped me, without any of that.
Didn't you bring her any gifts?
Well, yes, but that was after. Just some old cloth for bandages and bed covers, so she could help others like she helped me. Every evening, I pray for Johanka and thank the Blessed Virgin for sending her to us.
I see. Thank you. You may go.
I'd like you to listen to Adela. She amended her life and doesn't live in sin anymore, all because of Johanka. Johanka helped people selflessly, not for any benefit, and Adela can testify to that.
All right. Bring this Adela. Adela, until recently you were living in the nearby town of Ledechko, is that so?
Yes.
And how did you make a living there?
I served at the baths, laundering and repairing clothes and preparing the baths.
Is that all?
No. Sometimes I went with the fellas and pleasured them for money. But I don't do it anymore. I swear. I changed my ways on account of Johanka and Henry here, and now I lead a decent life.
You're saying you simply gave up your profession?
Yes. Henry convinced me, and Johanka took me in.
Very well. Thank you. And since you left Ledechko, have you sinned with anyone?
No, monsieur, I haven't.
Good. May God give you the will to maintain your newfound virtue, Adela. And now, please answer one more question. You're living with Johanka now, yes? Tell me what she says to the people who come to her.
Well, they come with all sorts of problems. Some want just advice. Some want her maybe to bless them or talk to Our Lady for them. They believe she's a holy woman.
So, Johanka accepts gifts from these people and then gives them her blessing?
No, it's not like that. Johanka doesn't bless anyone. And she doesn't want any gifts from anyone either. Folk just bring them. The things they bring, she gives them out to the sick and wounded. She doesn't keep anything, I swear.
You swear?
Yes, I swear to it all, Monseigneur. I'd never lie to you.
All right. You may go. Now I wish to question Katra, the swordsmith's wife. Bring her here. Katra, you are a respected townswoman who has a good overview of what goes on in Sasau. As you told me earlier, will you tell me now what you know of Johanka and her deeds?
Yes, I'll tell you everything, Monsignor. Johanka has been putting ideas into people's heads and causing chaos. What right has she to preach to us? A simple girl like that. As if we were bad people here, and she herself is a sinner. And an adulterer, a loose woman she is, who goes with anyone, and even fornicated with the custodian, Sir Sebastian.
That's nothing but slander.
Quiet, Henry. I will deal with this matter in a moment.
Forgive me, Monsignor, but Katra isn't telling the whole truth.
What do you mean, Henry?
She's the one who set a band of thugs on Johanka several times to cause trouble for her and threaten her. She wanted to drive Johanka out of town. That's not the deed of a good Christian, plotting intrigues like that. She admitted it all to me.
Is that true?
I only did what was necessary to stop her from bringing us to harm.
Monsignor, you can see yourself that Katra holds a grudge against Johanka.
Yes, I must agree with Henry. In view of your apparent antagonism towards Johanka, whatever the reasons for it, I cannot allow you to influence these proceedings. You should have reported your concerns to Father Fabian instead of acting willfully as you did.
But she's bringing us nothing but trouble.
I will be the judge of her transgressions, not you. Nevertheless, I have also heard rumors of Johanka's immorality that cannot be ignored. Bring here the Sasau custodian, Sir Sebastian von Berg. Sir Sebastian, my apologies for raising the matter, but doubts have been cast on your virtue. I have been told that you have shared your bed with Johanka. Is it true?
Monsignor, with respect, this is surely some mistake. Johanka is not a bad girl, and by no means a heretic.
Noted. Now please answer my question. Did you share your bed with Johanka or not?
Yes, but she's not...
Silence! So, Johanka not only incites rebellion against the nobles, but also seduces them into sin and immorality.
Monsignor, I've known Johanka a long time, and she's a virtuous girl and a good Christian. She just needed support. It wasn't a bodily desire, but one of the soul. Consider what she went through. Her whole family slaughtered, and everyone here turned their backs on her, but for Sir Sebastian. Anyone can make a mistake, can't they? And she's sorry for her mistake.
Monsignor, let's put a stop to this. It's undignified for us both. And for Johanka. She's no heretic, just a confused young girl to whom fate has been less than kind. Her confusion will pass, All it needs is for someone to explain to her the error of her ways. There's no necessity for extreme measures.
Sir Sebastian, be so kind as to leave the judgment of Johanka's transgressions to me. You may go. Henry? You proved yourself a good servant of the Church when you told me of your disturbing findings concerning the situation hereabouts. You've been very keen to appear here in Johanka's defense. You've said a lot about her, but please, tell me why you've been helping her all this time.
Because I don't know anyone like her. She endured what would destroy most people and never gave up. She never wasted time feeling sorry for herself. Instead, she helped others, even at the cost of her own suffering. And she helped to redeem me, too. It's a pity everyone isn't like her.
It seems you speak sincerely, and you hold her in high regard. Your sincerity before God carries great weight. Thank you. That will be all, Henry.
Monsignor, please permit me to say one more thing. I heard some wise words at a sermon in Skalitz, and I think I should share them here. It's our Christian duty to fight against sin. But we must love the sinner. So I beg you, Monsignor, be lenient to Johanka.
You're right, Henry. Those are wise words. Nothing remains but to question Johanka herself. Johanka of Skalitz, you've heard the accusations brought against you, and we have also heard several testimonies. I already questioned you earlier. Johanka, do you wish to revise the answers you gave earlier, or do you stand by what you said?
I stand by everything I told you.
So be it. I expressly forbade you to continue preaching, and you promised not to do so. You defied my instruction and broke your promise. Why?
Forgive me, Monsignor. But I could do nothing else. Our Lady asked me to do it, and I couldn't refuse her. She did visit me. But now I admit that I might have been wrong about some things. I don't understand these learned matters, and I was too hasty in speaking to the people. I regret that I didn't go first to Father Fabian and tell him about everything. I want to apologize here, before the Blessed Virgin, if I misunderstood something and said untruths or brought shame on the Church. I didn't intend to do anything like that. I ask Our Lady's forgiveness, and I will accept any punishment that you impose on me.
I'm pleased that you've seen the error of your ways and confessed to your mistakes. These proceedings are closed. You may leave. Johanka will now hear my verdict.
Johanka, are you aware you're facing very grave accusations?
Yes, Monsignor. I am.
You stand accused of preaching from ignorance and leading the people away from the protective embrace of Holy Mother Church. If you do not recant, you will suffer grave consequences.
Pride and ignorance clouded her reason.
Child, it would distress me greatly to have to pronounce a verdict of condemnation. Speak then. Do you recant your sermons and swear never again to preach to the people? And are you prepared to repent?
God is my witness. I did all this with good intentions. And I sincerely repent of my sins of conceit. I confess that I was led by my pride to believe the Virgin Mary chose me to put the world to rights. And I set myself above the learned prelates of the Church and the divine right of nobility. I repent my sins of pride and ask forgiveness. I will do as you command, Father.
Johanka has confessed her guilt, and from this day forward she'll be a good and humble Christian again. She shall no longer indulge in philosophizing, and shall, in her penitent's robe, go every day to pray at the Church of St. Martin. Therefore, I ask you to welcome Johanka back into your midst and hold no grudge against her. If the Virgin Mary should happen to visit you again, tell Father Fabian and he will send for me. All right?
Yes, Signor.
Very good.
Matthias!
Johanka was cleared of all charges of heresy, and the Inquisitor, his job done and his verdict pronounced, left Dessau for good. Matthias recovered from his illness, and he and Johanka finally met again. It was a happy sight to see them both alive and well after their trials. Who knows what awaits them now? Or all of us, for that matter. How are you getting on?
I can't complain.
I'm glad to see you back on your feet.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Henry. Johanka told me all about how you helped her. And actually, me too. It's incredible. All the things that happened.
You're right there.
I'm in your debt, Henry. For both of us.
Don't mention it, Matthias. You'd have done the same, wouldn't you?
Of course I would.
See? Next time I need help, I know who to come to. Anyway, what else is new? So what will you do now, Matthias?
I wish I knew, Henry. For now, I'll work in the monastery grounds, until they throw us out.
They don't want to let you stay here?
Well, it seems the abbot isn't happy about so many lay people right outside the monastery walls. Nicodemus is trying to put a word in for us, and for Adela, too. But the abbot can be very obstinate. He wasn't happy about Johanka being here at all. And then, with all that happened after.
I see. So what will you do if you have to leave?
I really don't know. We'll stay until harvest at least. There'll be plenty of work, and then we'll see. Maybe we can find jobs somewhere around here. But more likely we'll go away to other parts, if we can save some money. I don't know where, though.
Well, I might have something for you. Sir Divish appointed me bailiff of Pribyslavitz. After you finish with the harvests, the two of you could go there. There'll be lots of work there for a clever pair like you.
Jesus, Henry. You've really come up in the world. That would be great. Thanks. We'll go there right after harvest. It's good to know we'll have a place for the winter. I won't forget you for this, Henry, and for everything you've done.
Johanka was cleared of all accusations, despite the things that were said in the trial, which you heard yourself, sir.
Johanka has been cleared and is safe, it's true. And now she's with that fellow, Matthias. But I suppose it's best that way. I should never have started that affair with her. It was unreasonable on my part and unjust towards her. Now I can see the wrongness of my actions, thanks to her. In the future, I'll be a better, more virtuous person. I believe that's what she wanted. May she find happiness with Matthias. As long as I'm in Sasau and have it in my power, they shall have my protection. It means I also owe an apology to you, Henry of Skalitz. Thank you for doing what you did for Johanka. Recently, I had a new weapon made for myself, but I think it's more fitting that you should have it. Here it is. Let's speak no more of Johanka. Go in peace. God be with you.
I heard you and Pavel of Colleen gave a donation to Sasau. It's a pity you didn't think of us. Anyway, what can I do for you?
Brother Nicodemus, I'd like to thank you for the wonderful testimony you gave.
You're the one who deserves thanks, Henry. I feared the worst, and for all my prayers, I never even dared hope for such an outcome. I could hardly believe it at first. I was very fearful for Johanka. It didn't look good at all for her, facing such accusations. And you did an excellent job, Henry. It's largely due to you that everything turned out as it did. Thanks for defending her, Henry. There's few people who could have done it so well. Recently I found an interesting volume in the monastery library and made a copy from it in secret. It's just a few lines, but maybe you'll find it useful.
Thanks. That's all.
May I have your attention for a moment?
What is it?
I'd like to challenge you to a duel.
Why not? I could use a little exercise.
Excellent. I see you have no fear. Let's get to it, then. Oh dear, did that hurt? Quitting? Damn! Way off! I'll let... Bugger! I'll wipe my ass. Ow. Now. That was a fine duel, sir. I thank you.
What do you need?
I brought you back that manuscript you lent me.
Ah, the opus of Matthew of Yanov. I was wondering if I'd ever see it again. Thanks, my son. See you later.
Here, enjoy it. Good afternoon. Take care.
Yeah.
God
Yeah.
damn! You showed him. Thank you, that thieving magpie. You can't trust anyone these days. And just so you know I'm no pinch purse, here's a small reward.
Thanks.